I did go out the other day and went out without my without the camera. I don't always take the camera out. Just went out for a little short blast, and it was mainly to test the suspension. I went out the other day, and I can honestly say that it was money well spent. The OEM suspension is okay for a budget bike, which I think this bike is pretty much a budget bike. But now with the uprated suspension, which is on another video I did some time ago, I've adjusted it slightly from what the shop had it adjusted to. Just softened it back one notch so it's not quite so fierce. And that seems to have done the trick. You hit a bump mid-corner now and it doesn't kind of throw the whole bike right out. It's still on the firm side, I would say, but that's not a bad thing, really. I'm not an expert on suspension at all, setting up or anything like that, but I certainly know what feels good and what doesn't. And now this feels absolutely planted. Can sort of kind of turn in wherever I want. Doesn't squat down on acceleration, and it doesn't sort of pogo, you know, on acceleration, which it didn't really do that much anyway. And under heavy braking it certainly didn't dive as much, and under heavy braking, if you hit a bump, or if I hit a bump, there was still some suspension left. So I could ride the front quite nicely, which is, I tend to ride the front more than the rear, I guess. If I've got confidence in the front, I've got confidence in the whole bike. So to me, the front suspension is probably more important than the rear. You can kind of handle shit that goes on the rear. $141 for diesel, $138 for petrol, and that's per litre. Anyway, going back to stealth tax. So you got your cigarettes, your alcohol, all the things that we love, the general public. And now, when I come home after being in Thailand and find there's a sugar tax, I could not believe it. I went into Burger King and bought a burger at outrageous prices, burger and chips, and he said, "Oh, what drink do you want with that, sir?" I said, "I'll have a Coke, please." And he said, "Oh, that's £8.39 plus 13p sugar tax." And I went, "You what? You what?" Of course, this has come in since I've been in Thailand. And I said, "I'm not paying that." I said, "You haven't even got it advertised." Anyway, he showed me the writing where it was advertised. And it was tiny little writing on the side of the till. And it was, the till was like the third till along. And I said, "How am I supposed to read that?" I said, "You should have it displayed on your front board where you've got £8.39 for a burger and blah 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 for all this other crap that they sell. You should put all drinks 13p sugar tax." Anyway, I said, "I'm not paying it. You didn't tell me that before you rang it up on the till." So he said, "Well, I've rung it up on the till now." And I said, "Well, you can fucking well unring it then, can't you?" I said, "I'm having water instead." 13p sugar tax. Now, this sugar tax is supposed to be for fat people, because the hospitals and everything else are overrun with obese fat buggers with heart problems and associated problems with being considerably overweight. And the main concern is obviously, oh, I know, let's introduce this tax for children, you know, because all our children are getting fat on burgers and extra drinks, cokes and shit. I can understand that, they are getting fat. I noticed this in Thailand when I was in Thailand. When I first started going to Thailand about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, you used to see the odd fat Thai person, not very common, because of their, you know, nice diet that they have. They don't have too much protein, don't have too much sugar. But what I did notice now is that young kids, they're eating KFCs, McDonald's, pizzas and all that crap as more and more Western food outlets become more popular. Even in small towns now in Thailand there's a McDonald's, and of course it's all packed full of kids. And we all know that McDonald's is addictive, and they give these kids unlimited Coke. So you buy a Coke with your meal and then they just sit there all day in the air-conditioned building and drink Coca-Cola, and they just keep topping it up for free. Now, going back to this country, I mean, that sort of thing's been going on for ages in this country, and there are a lot of fat kids and a lot of fat young mums. My local town, Crawley, which is not a particularly nice town, it's a bit rough and ready. You walk around the town centre in there and you see these young mums pushing their sprogs around in their pushchairs. And my God, when it's hot, they've got these kind of crop tops on and shorts, and you get this huge kind of fat roll hanging over. Somebody told me something the other day. It was one of the Husqvarna guys. He called it a grunt. Obviously for short for CUNT, and guts. So all these women are walking around with big grunts. Disgusting. And they're only in their 20s. God only knows what they're going to be like if they ever reach their 40s. It's no wonder I've deserted English women and gone over to Thailand. Wisdom has decided to bring in a sugar tax, and this is supposed to ease or help the NHS with all the increased problems that they have with obesity. But as we all know, this sugar tax is just another stealth tax that will go into the central pot, and it will just feed all these ever increasing politicians and EU members, and of course the House of Lords, all the civil servants. It's not going to go to the things that the country actually needs, or for what it was set up to do. I wouldn't mind paying a sugar tax, I really wouldn't, if I knew that all that taxed money was going to the hospital. I wouldn't bat an eyelid, wouldn't care. And of course, there's the other bugbear, recycling. They've decided, the government in their wisdom, to, if you buy a bottle of Coke, for example, you have to pay a deposit on the bottle. Fair enough. Used to do that in the old days when we had glass bottles. I can remember going around collecting glass bottles and then taking them back to the shop and getting like the 1 or 2p deposit. But of course, you recycle these plastic bottles only to find that the recycling plants aren't actually recycling it. They're just throwing it all in a landfill. They were sending it all off to China. All our rubbish and plastic and everything was going to China. And of course China was just either burning it or burying it. So not actually helping the environment at all. So, the recycling tax, if you like, it all adds more burden to the average, everyday person. And of course, food prices are escalating. Clothes prices are escalating. This is all due to tax, really. What the hell's going on here? Take it nice and steady. I don't want to be overtaking lines of cars too fast. Oh, this is Findon something. Oh, Chantonbury Ring. Obviously a popular little place for people to go and have a walk round. I mean, but the Chantonbury Ring, up on the top of the hill, got pretty much destroyed in the famous 1987 hurricane that hit the southeast of England. I remember it very well. I made an absolute killing for the next 3 or 4 years selling wood. There was trees down everywhere. It took years to clear up these trees. Anyway,